Looks like it's ready to go live. All right, we're good. What's going on, everybody? It's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. I think it is. Man, I'm not even sure what day of the week it is. Wait a minute. These aren't my kicker cush. Oakley! Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's Friday. We're going to have some fun. But without further ado, let's kick off the intro. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes.
So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
Would you look at that? Would you look at that battery? Would you look at the bass? Makes you really want to look at it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Live and direct. That's how we do it. Checking out 5 System. Man, look at them kickers. Just look at them. Dear, Basshead 30. Adrian. Nope. He never came home yet. Thanks for tuning in, Jake. Happy birthday, Adrian. That's awesome, man. And what better place to celebrate with your Basshead buddies? Happy birthday, dude. Happy birthday. And the rest of you guys, let's have some fun. It's Friday. Everything's working. We don't have a problem. Mostly. Love you guys. You're telling me, man. You're telling me.
Livin Loud Swag.
Appreciate you guys. Friday, and everything's mostly working. There was one casualty. One camera's not working, but that's okay. That's the GoPro, and it's because of Easter weekend, and I knew that cable was on its last leg, and it's going to be here tomorrow. Regardless, I think we got enough cameras around here to fill the void. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. And we got a $20 super chat from LLwA.
Everybody is interested in this kicker in 2024.
Thank you, LLwA. Cornut got the caboose. I got the engine. Doo-doo! Cornut's talent is inspiring. My local shop was blown away by the quality of his work. Peace out to all the Livin Loud with Andy fans. Thank you, LLwA. And yes, you are definitely throwing fire into the engine, cool into the engine to get it burning. And appreciate you so much. And Cornut is awesome. And yeah, we got something special for you, El Fuego. Nothing too crazy, but you know, had to pick up the big phone. Thank you so much for supporting and contributing to the show and the community. And Cornut, you're awesome. We know that though. Thank you, El Fuego. I need to turn this mic down just a little bit, I think. No, you know what I need? I need to turn this gain up just a little bit. Yeah, that's the problem. There we go. More clipping. Speaking of clipping, the eclipse is going to be clipping the sun. Just a little bit. Actually, it might be within the range of not clipping because it's not going outside of it. No. That's what clipping kind of is. It's going outside what the amplifier can do. And instead of just being that round wave, it just kind of flattens it, hits the ceiling, you know, and just clips right into it. Thank you, El Fuego. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. You guys are awesome. And man, I was happy to do this. I put a lot of work into the studio the past few days. Just one step at a time, man. Just one step at a time. OG Caboose. He's right there. Thank you for tuning in, Cornut. Thank you for tuning in, Bubba. Appreciate you guys. What's going on, Garrick? With a $10 super chat. I got to pull it out. Here we go. And it's Friday, baby. Thank you, Garrick. Thank God it's Friday time with Kicking It with Andy. Woohoo! And speaking of Kicking It with Andy, that's coming up this Tuesday. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a little bit bigger of an audience, but you guys are going to be able to ask me anything. But today's Friday. We kind of do the same thing here, but still, you know, it's just a kickback late show, and you guys get to win stuff on Tuesdays. So thank you for always tuning in. And Garrick, thank you so much. Every penny counts, and especially the $10 Friday super chats. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, dude. You are awesome. You know, I've heard that a lot. I've heard that.
Because we don't want you to blow it up. So turn the gain down, Andy.
I will turn down the gain eventually, you know, and that's the thing, man. There's a lot I wish I could tell you guys, but it's secret stuff right now, and it's going to be awesome. But I've been messing with the gain, and I've been learning about it, and just, you know, competition drivers, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and there is a difference. There really is. Thank you, William. Appreciate all your tidbits and always tuning in. That local shop just took a look at it. They did, and they said, would you look at that? You know that's what they said. Would you just look at that kicker? Just look at it. Thank you, John. Appreciate you. What is going on, Kanga? Garrick is making it rain. He is making it rain, and you know what? Just because you guys have been making it rain.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
That keeps doing that.
Daddy.
I can't. Thank you, Bubba. And yes, these guys have been making it rain, and you know, just getting the train going. And we got to make it to the journey. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you, Chris. What's happening? And this guy was making fun of me low key. He's like, "Hey, why do you need all those TVs in there, like different sizes and stuff?" Well, I would show you a lot better, but my one main camera, the GoPro camera, is down. But you could just take a look at it over this way. We got a big 43-inch TV over here, and on the other side of the room, I actually had to replace. I actually had to replace the this TV right here. That is a brand new TV. I tried putting it over here, and long story short, don't use Harbor Freight TV mounts. They're okay, but still, I was like, okay, so I'm buying one, and I'm just gonna put both of them there. I can't go smaller, and it'll be nice and perfect for Tuesday, because that's where I put all the stuff for, like, you know, the rigging and stuff. Now I can see it a little bit better, and just the one-off stuff. And yes, the bigger one was on sale. I was like, I don't need two big ones. We'll just go with the one, and it's perfect. But thank you for tuning in, Chris. Appreciate you. And yes, that was funny. I can't. Let's see. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys. We got 35 on StreamYard here, 25 on YouTube. I got to pull up Kicker Club. It's right here. It's good to go. Appreciate you guys all hanging out with me. And Bill Calhoun, thank you for hanging out. Eric Hustleman Jones, they are watching you. Appreciate you watching me. Let's see. You know, I would love to watch that full video with you guys. Maybe we could do that in the Discord after the show. We need more gain. We need more gain. The live with the Sundown and Rockville debate. That was great. Ooh, I can hear myself on here. I was actually using this phone for a little bit of SPL testing, so you'll be seeing that very soon. Phil, I'm 100%, but supposed to be cloudy. Yes, for the solar eclipse. That clipping. That eclipsing the eclipse with clipping eclipse. Clipping eclipse. There we go. Yes, and I hope the weather holds up. If you guys are going to look at it, make sure you have your, I don't even know, not sunscreen. You need a little bit more than that for this. It's pretty dangerous to your eyes, and so is clipping to your subwoofer, man. But yeah, hopefully the rain and the clouds don't block it. I mean, that's a clipping the eclipse by clipping the cloud. Thank you so much, Phil. Let's see. Cornut says, now Andy and LLwA both have enclosures signed by the caboose. And I wish I had that picture up. We'll talk about it. And, you know, man, just to have that caboose just sitting in the enclosure of the Cornut kicker box. And I've never looked at it, but I know it's there. And I've seen pictures. Just knowing it's there, you know, it's awesome. And now LLwA's got one, which is so cool. And, man, you guys, I can't believe you guys literally met up to install LLwA's system. And Cornut does awesome installs, so it was just awesome to see that. And, you know, just random guys met online, and here we are today, which is really insane. It truly is. What's going on, Cedric? Thank you for tuning in. I'm at Bingo watching Andy and playing B5. Actually, it might be K5, but I don't think that goes that high. Thank you for tuning in, Cedric. Hope you're doing well, buddy. We got a $5 super chat. Would you look at that?
Well. Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
You really do gotta look at it this way. Shout out to my audio family. Sup, Andy 14.4. Thank you for the super chat, Ashy. And man, the audio family, it really is a thing, man. And I love doing this stuff because I get to talk to you guys, hang out with you guys, and it's more than Facebook, and it's more than just the car audio shows once a year. What we got here, it's really cool and unprecedented stuff. Thank you so much, Ashy. And yes, 14.4. All of them, man. You know, I preferably like my voltage a little bit higher than 14.4 nowadays, just so I'm not clipping as early, because I've noticed that too. Whenever I had the KXA 2400 at just like stock electrical, really, an AGM in the back, I was seeing around 11 volts, and I'm looking at the BassKnob, and it's like I'm clipping, you know, whenever I get to like 8 out of 10. We'll say 8 out of 11, because you got to turn it to 11. Around 8 out of 11. And now gains are set the same, and now with the higher voltage above 14.4, you know, dropping down to like 13.8, give or take, and I'm not even clipping until I get to like 10, you know, and that's kind of perfect. And it just goes to show, you know, yes, an amplifier can make more power when you have more electrical, but then you're also not going to clip as early either, because the amplifier is able to make that power rather than hitting that ceiling, which is clipping. Thank you so much, Ashy. Appreciate you. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Kanga. Man, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but if it wasn't for these guys super chatting, supporting, the studio would not be half of what it is, but it's really come a long way. Thank you, Kanga. And there's a lot of stuff to look at. There's a lot of stuff to look at. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. 25. He's a little late for the rain, but we'll throw it again. We have to.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
Ready?
Thank you, LLwA. And it has been raining It has been raining. There's rain in the forecast, but hopefully not too much for the eclipsing of the eclipse. No bueno. Thank you, 25. Audio Dad, thank you for hanging out with us. That is awesome. I like the name. I do like it. Thank you, Ashley. Smash the like. It's a requirement in the community, and so far we got 18 likes on YouTube. Appreciate you, Ashley, for just letting the guys know. Smash the like. That's that thing that goes like this. You know the thing. Thank you, Ashley. You know what? We'll just have Dave tell you.
Yeah, don't forget to hit the like. You gotta hit the like. Welcome. It's real easy. That thing that goes like this. Pretty simple.
That's it. That is it. Thank you, Ashley and Dave, in heart, in mind, in soul. He's always here with us. Thank you so much. Excuse me. Jason Rogers, Simon Stately, Jeremy, and Ron. Thank you for tuning in on Kicker Club. You guys are awesome. Choke change. What's up? Sorry I'm late, guys. It's okay. You know, it's a live stream. We do it for an hour. You know the deal. Appreciate that you're here every week, man. That is Chip Diamond. Who is that dude? You just gotta look at it. You just gotta look at him. Chip Diamond. Chip Diamond. I always forgot his name for the longest time. I really did. Basehead 30. What is up? What is up? All right, so John's got it right here. He says, watching the eclipse while clipping the clips. Man, you know, clips, I've heard of them. That's a good brand. I think they're more like home audio, pro audio, but still. Clipping the clips. Man, clipping the clips in an eclipse. Blah, blah, blah. That's a good one. 11.8 volts for the win. You know, man, a lot of people even can drop that low, and it's still not the end of the world. I mean, like now 10 volts, that's a problem. That's a problem. I have found out that KXA amplifiers usually shut off around 10.4. But hey, that's nice to know. So when you're around that 11.8 volt range, you know, again, like I said, you might run into clipping earlier than you normally would at like 14 volts. And it depends the amplifier, what you're trying to do. But in general, so even at 11.8, it's really not bad. And when you're running a 12 volt battery, a lithium iron phosphate, lead acid, AGM, you're going to be dropping in the 12s and the 11s. You really are, once you go past that alternator power supply of what it can demand or what it can supply. Once you go past that, that's when you go into what the battery can do, not where it's charging at with the alternator. That's not how that works, not with that kind of battery. Todd Wolf, thank you for tuning in. When I get my box, I was hoping to come over for help with installing and tuning. I can help you out, Todd. You know, I got a lot on my plate, but, you know, I don't mind having a friend come over, talk car audio, and do something here and there. Absolutely, man. And I can't wait to see that SDK enclosure. That's going to be awesome. And, hey, kicker, man. Kicker. Appreciate you tuning in, dude. I know, he's already making it rain. Thank you for tuning in, Budget J. Happy Friday, y'all. Where is Uncle Bobby B? He was here earlier. He always, you know, shows up. He sets his cup down with his twisted tea. Well, he lets you know where he's sitting, but sometimes he comes back. He does. Appreciate you, Budget. Man, we got Justin up in here nice and early. Thank you for tuning in, Justin. I've been missing all the live streams, and I thought I missed Rob's last night, and he's like, oh, yeah, Dean's down at Knowledge Fest. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, now what? Now what? Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you, and keep doing what you do. And usually this guy, he just comes for the outro music, but, you know, hey, maybe he wants to just hang out with you guys, too, once in a while, you know? He's a busy guy. Ed Bassmaster, that's his real name, but, yeah, Chip Diamond, Ed Bassmaster on YouTube. You just got to look at it this way. You just got to look at it. 5 volt crew in the house. You know, and man, I think that's pushing it, but with the start-stop technology kind of cars, might happen. You know, and a lot of kicker amplifiers are start-stop voltage range safe. And, you know, I don't think it's every vehicle is going to turn into that, but a lot will. Maybe like the hybrids and stuff, where that voltage drop might dip down there for a quick second, just so that the amplifier doesn't just shut off. It just gives out less power. Obviously, you're at a lower voltage, and so it doesn't burn out, and a lot of protective stuff built in so that it doesn't blow up. That's the difference between Kicker and a lot of cheaper amplifiers, where it's just, yeah, one, the parts inside are more expensive, and it's thought more, you know, throughout the process. So much research, development, testing, yada, yada, yada. We all know this. But it's also the circuitry of the protective stuff of just, you know, literally, hey, that's too much current, we're going to rail you down. That's too much this, not enough this of resistance or rise, whatever, impedance, whatever you want to call it, of what the amplifier's seeing, just because it's going to be too much current, then it's going to be like, hey, no, that's enough. That's enough. Or it will just go and protect. It will just go and protect, and then it'll come back out. You know, rather than just, oh yeah, sure, man, go ahead, have fun, you know? Boom! That's usually what happens. But if you know what you're doing, you're never going to run into that problem. I run all my amplifiers at half ohm, but at the same time, and they're all 1 ohm stable, 2 ohm stable, well, 2 ohm stable at half ohm. I don't have quite enough rise for what I'm trying to do. And you never really see that, but still, you can. You can for that split second. And if you really aren't watching, that's why amps blow up. They say they're not stable. But again, it all comes down to what you know, how much experience you got, and just having fun. And I love learning stuff with Kicker. One, because, you know, they help me out. I do this on the side, but at the same time, I haven't had one blow up other than a 360.44 channel. I haven't had a monoblock Kicker amp blow up, and I got a few of them. And, you know, I've learned on that. It's like, okay, cool, I can see this, I can see that, and perfect, it works. And I could try this on another amp, you know, if I wanted to. Hey, this same setup, this will work on your amp. Just don't play 65 hertz, you know. Just don't do it. Don't do it. New sweater. It's actually an old sweater. This is like OG stuff, kind of not super OG, but it's OG. It's on the merch site, of course. You know, it's like April showers and May's coming, you know, more flowers. So I figured I'd put this on. It's been like 65, 62 degrees in this room. I have to crank the heater half the time. It just gets a little warm. I don't have any heat in here. I have it shut off just because summertime, you know, and second floor, old house, you know how it goes. Physics. But yes, it's awesome. I love it. It's comfy. What's going on, Joe Keenan? Thank you for tuning in. This guy's calling out my April Fool's joke. I'm like, come on, man. You just got to look at it. You just got to look at it. The port, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What's going on, Justin? Them Kicker Q class subs look cool. I am itching to try one. You know, they are... I've never personally owned one, but I've heard a lot of them, and I see them all the time. And just looking at them, they are really quality subs. And they're not going to be, you know, this perfect SQ setup with a 1200 RMS driver. It's just not. But it's going to be more leaning towards that of just, you know, fidelity of just bass of what we do. And then some, you know, and... They handle power. They got a little bit of excursion, and I don't know. It's weird because like every Kicker sub, you think it's going to be this or that, but it's still always kind of like, you know, it could do both, a little bit of everything, you know, depending each product. But the Q class series really is like the SQ side of things of Kicker, and they sound really, really good, and they perform well. I know, Justin, you would definitely be the candidate to buy one just because how I know you, man. I could see you doing that and enjoying something like that. You really would. They're not going to be your Sundowns, E's, or something like that. They're going to be a different sound. They're going to require a different box, but they're going to be really, really nice, and they're going to last for years. I will tell you that. Let's see. What are we agreeing on, LLwA? Okay, we got Cookie Monster up in here. That's so cool. So cool. So cool. Baba says, I look forward to listening to your build at Surf City LLwA. Oh, he better be giving out those demos there, you know? Like, come on, man. Come on. He will. He will. You know, he's got the Comp Q15 and on a JP95, just beautiful setup. And, you know, with the JP95, like, you could put a little bit more power on that too, but at the same time, you know, it's either you really want to run under what a sub can do just because then you can throw everything at it and never have to worry about it, or so much power that you never clip, but then you have to be responsible with it, but then you can give it a little bit more beans than you normally would because, quote, you're not clipping, your electrical's good too, you know. Everything I say and everything that we do in car audio, it's relative of the scenario. So it's, you know, just don't say, oh, Andy said just put like 2 times the RMS on your sub and you'll be fine. and you won't be clipping. Now, that's not the case if you got stock electrical, because then the amplifier is going to clip at, 11,000 watts instead of 800, just because it still can't provide the power. And it takes power to make power, but I know you guys know that, but for the one sitting in the back. Can't wait to see it, though. It's a nice build. Really is. I mean, I've seen it, but, just really look at it. You got to really look at it. Joe Keenan, I love the Comp Q15s. I have one in my old school, and it's loud in 4 cubic foot enclosure. Yeah, I think that's close to what they recommend. It's like 4 to like 5. I think you can go a little bit more, but that might be the QL7, not the Comp Q. I think the Comp Q's max is 5. So 4 really, if you go a lot of every single kicker driver shows, a range to put it in. And also with that range, like power and, just a few different things. So when you go right in the middle, you're going to get like that middle balanced sound, might not be the most efficient compared to the bigger box, but it's not going to be as tight as the small box. And there's pros and cons with both of that too. When you have the sealed box, you're going to have tight, accurate bass, quote, or just smaller ported, a little bit more accurate. I don't know, just a punchier tonality to the sound, but it's not going to be as efficient because it's going to take a lot more to move that driver. It's not going to move as freely as it would in a big box. And there's lots of different, pros and cons, port big, small versus big box, small box. But just looking at, the kicker recommended specs for enclosure size and port spec, just comparing those two, because they kind of, they say, all right, since your box is going to be a little bit bigger, the port doesn't need to be as big exponentially. Like, it is bigger than a smaller box, but still, you kind of get what I'm saying, because at some point you still need to build some kind of acoustical suspension. You really do, and that's what a speaker does in a box, and that's why you have rise and all that fun stuff. It just creates pressure, creates resistance, and that's why it goes up, not down. But regardless, yeah, they need a little bit of a bigger box compared to your conventional 15, but that's the square. Now, the rounds, I don't think as much, but you still can put them in a large box just because that's how Kicker really builds them. They just do really well in big boxes. And that might be due to the suspension, just, I don't know. I really don't know. But with the squares, yeah, you got a little bit more cone area. Maybe, motor force into play with that too. You might need a little bit bigger of a box and port area, but still. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you, man. El Fuego's got his Comp Q15 in 6 cubes. Okay, so it is 6 for even the Comp Q. Just the round Comp Q15 in 6 cubes on 1,000 watts is really nice. And that's the thing, too. When you're running, like, max spec of whatever, you don't need as much power. It's going to be a little bit more efficient. So even if you would put twice the power, are you going to get those kind of gains as you would with a smaller enclosure? That's the thing. And I see that with testing, it's like, okay, I'm not gaining 2.5 dBs no more. I'm reaching that. I would have to shrink the enclosure and other factors, make the ports bigger, smaller, probably bigger, and increase the tuning up, because that's what happens naturally when you make the enclosure smaller to keep the same amount of port area. And there's a lot of factors that go into it. But to keep it simple, 1,000 watts on that, man, it's probably really hammering at like 400 watts clamp, I'm telling you. And, that's all it needs too. And it'll be like a 141, 142 dB build on like 400 or 500 watts clamped, and it'll take it all day. And that's the coolest thing, to not have to worry about your sub frying, your amp frying, your electricals saying, help me, help me, help me, because I have seen it. Party time! Wayne's World! Excellent! That's it. Appreciate ya, Kyle, for tuning in. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta have restraint on, running a bigger amplifier, just because, like Spider-Man's dad said, with great power, well, Uncle Ben, great power comes great responsibility. You really have to be careful, man. I have a lot of my builds that are just like I got a Warhorse 10K on a Solo X18. I got 2 CX1800s at half ohm clamping 3,600 on a quad box, and another system, but we can't talk about that yet. They're all way too much more power than the sub can handle, but you really have to play it within reason to not run into any issues. But does it work? Absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, to not worry, I like not worrying. I don't know about you guys. Fi, hello all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out, Fi. Appreciate that you're here. I still need to get back to you, man. I'm terrible. I thought about it last night at 4:15 in the morning after I was like done doing this whole studio. I'm like, I have it in the notes right here. I will show you. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write down these notes and I'm probably going to forget it, but they're in my notes. Talk to Fi. Look at that. Would you look at that? Talk to Fi right there. Fix video, clean room. I'm trying. Thank you for tuning in. Miss you, buddy. Appreciate you. Like, I do. It's just like a little bit of ADD and a little bit just too much going on. It's impossible to remember everything, and it's never been my strong suit. Ask Cornut. Ask Cornut. Just ask him. Literally 2-month warning until Slamology, and yes, that is June 7th for registration. And today is April 5th. Wow. But still, there's only 31 days in May, 30 days in April. Yeah, it's literally like 2 months. Man, I am excited for Slamology. When am I not? Like, I swear, this show is like hashtag sponsored Slamology as well, just because it is literally the most awesome show. And all of us here that watch the show, they go to this show. They do. They really do. Thank you, Bubba, for letting them know. Look at this and look at that. That's all you can do, Jeff Wallace. You just gotta look at it. Mike JR Official. What's up, brother? Not much, man. Just another Friday podcast. We're here to have fun and talk car audio. And if you guys got questions, we try to do that. But we're talking a little bit about clipping, a little bit about boxes, and just, you know, car audio. Kicker stuff, man. I'm having fun tonight. I really am. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us. Yeah, you got a Discord, man. You got a Discord. I mean, I don't jump into Discord every single day, but I always do hang out after my live shows. I think that's a cool way to connect with you guys one-on-one and just have some fun on the side, too. We do have fun. And if you want to join my Discord for the after party, which is literally just in my About section, and it says Discord. You just got to look at it. And we hang out there after every live show of mine, and it's fun. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. It means the world. And if it wasn't for you guys, it'd be a lot harder to chug along. But you guys are really, I don't know, man. Cornerstone. You guys are my foundation, man. Robert Malloy, Andy, Jake says hi. Thank you for tuning in, Robert. Jake says hi. I'm trying to, Jake and Mike. Why am I not, Jake and Mike? Well, tell them I said hi too. Appreciate you tuning in. Instead of Wayne's World, it's Andy's World. Would you look at that? Would you look at it? Oh, would you look at this? We got pennies. We got pennies.
I got pennies.
Thank you, Jake. SDK Enclosures. You know the name. Buy the box. Hit the like if you support the great content. And these guys are listening to you guys. We got 26 likes on YouTube. Smash a like on Facebook if I am always streaming everywhere. On the Livin Loud with Andy Facebook page. And if you go like there, it will actually pop up in the top right corner. Go take a look at it. Thank you so much, Jake. Appreciate you. And I hope you're doing well, catching up on the grind. Man, this guy, talk about boxes, man. Talk about boxes. Probably 14.4 chat, I had to leave, you know, and that's the thing, you know, that's just human nature, I think, you know, we all have our different clicks and stuff. But I try to keep it, you know, even playing field for everything. I mean, you know, we just hang out. We just hang out. Let's see. While I'm looking at it. Chewy nice. Totally underrated. What's going on, a deer? Stereo integrity. 22 cubic foot box tuned to 16 hertz. And you're good to go. Man, those stereo integrity subs are pretty cool. You know, I've been learning a little bit more about them, and from the Discord, from the guys. You know, I don't know everything. I don't. And these guys are smart too. But still, I feel like they would work in a very large enclosure. A lot of, I don't know if exactly which one you're talking about, but a lot of drivers that work infinite baffle will work pretty well in a very, 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 very large enclosure. And I think 22 cubes is pretty big. And I've done it with an L515 for 2 builds, but one for my friend Andrew Smith, which was funny because we did 6 cubes for an L515, sorry, 6 cubes sealed. So like the tuning, because of the FS being like 25 hertz on the L5, it was the, I think 2006 or 8, I think it was, no, his was 2008 to 12, one of the two, but just a low FS. And that thing wanted to play 13 to like 25 hertz with authority, you know, and it still played up higher and stuff, but still, those big boxes just inherently, you know, depending the sub you're putting in there, want to dig down deep. And I think to go along with not just, you know, physics and all that other kind of fun stuff, but to just think it's like really creating that pressure easier down low. And I don't know, man, I really don't know. There's a lot to go into it with like wavelengths and how the enclosures reacting with the subwoofer, front wave, rear wave, and the whole nine. So you could go down a lot of rabbit holes to figure out why does a big box play lows. But to keep it simple, it's a big box. And, you know, Hoffman's iron law, you know, big box, it's going to be pretty efficient. It's going to move like that. You know, it's not going to take too much to do it. And resistance and a bunch of stuff. But it is cool to build boxes that big. Because if you want to play 16 hertz, that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. I've done it. My first Cookie Monster box, I think really it was like 13 cubes for that 18. 13 cubes, and it was like 2 to 25. You know, that's why I was dipping down and playing 16, 17 hertz when I was doing the hair tricks, and they could play down to like 12, 13, which was just too much. But I do want to do that again, but still, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on it. Not 100% sure. El Fuego says, Slam will have to wait for me next year, but I'm confident that I will be going to Surf City in August, and it's a lot closer for you, El Fuego. And after everything, man, one step at a time. And man, Surf City, I keep hearing everyone talk about Surf City. Surf City sounds like a song or something like that. You know, there's always Twisted Tea here. We got a little bit of Kicker Brewski here. You know, we got the Kicker Brew chilling right here. That can definitely did not fall at all. But I got another one of those, just in case. Thank you, Steve. It's actually Twisted Tea in there. It's not lager. It's definitely Twisted Tea. RVH, he says the NyQuil is kicking in, y'all. Keebo! Thank you for tuning in, Keebs. Appreciate ya. Hope you and the family are doing well tonight. Man, talking about the HT18 V3. I could take a look at it. Stereo. Kill the radio. Start. Stereo integrity. HTV3. Boom. Well, we need the 18. Oh, that's the only one. I did look at it before. It came up purple. Would you look at that? So this is the one that Adir's talking about. $199, HT18 and 22 cubes. Yeah, that's a lot for that guy. But if you just look at it, man, look at that curve. What's that? I don't even know what I'm looking at. But it looks good. Let's see. What does it say? 12 gauge. 2 doesn't even give. Okay. There we go. QMS. Total Q 0.59, yeah. Let's see, X Max 25 millimeters, 750 RMS, 22 cubes. Okay, right there. Whoa! They have it listed on the website. Okay, so you could definitely do it. If they're going to say you can do it, yeah, you could do it. Super L low frequency enclosure, ported enclosure. I mean, man, and even this one, ultra low frequency ported enclosure. What? 8 cubes, tuned to 22. I would go with 8. I think that's a little bit too much. And if you're going to be tuned to 16 hertz, you're going to be playing like 5 hertz, you know? And I know there's a lot of rebase tracks out there that have like, you know, like below, definitely below 40 hertz, but like 20 hertz and below. Whenever I had Cookie Monster, there wasn't really that much out there. Now DJ Rusticle's got so much out there, like 10 to 20. I'm like, bro, I could have used this. But still, like, you're going to have a hard time finding something 10 and below. That is really wasted information. And it's not even that. I've had issues with not so much whatever, in probably the driver and the amplifier not able to really play that low of a frequency. Like, that's really hard on an amplifier, I believe. Like, that wave is super just room, you know, like in the grand scheme of things of what it can do. So, man, that's really insane, Adir. That's really insane. Just send it. Just gonna send it. That's what I do. That's what I do. Noted. We all got personalities. John got bass. Thank you for tuning in. Need another sip. You guys are awesome. We got 50 on StreamYard here. 45 on YouTube. 28 likes. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And tonight it's been fun. It really has. John says, just bought my diodes earlier. I'm going to add an IN4007, and that's just a diode resistor, and boost my voltage from 14.8 to 15.5. And I'm swapping my crappy headway for 40 amp hour skib bank. Hallelujah! Yes, yes, yes. It's literally what I got in Kayla's car, and man, it keeps up. It keeps up. And, you know, if you can do this stuff, the 6 Series LTO, the prismatic cells, aka the skib, are the way, man. They really are. And there's a lot of other factors, but with what we do, it works. I put it through TDH. I demoed it a lot, and I'm right under what it's like rated for on a stock alternator, and it's taking everything I'm throwing at it, you know? Now I'm clamping even more power, and it's fine. It's great. It's great. But you gotta have an efficient amplifier too, otherwise you're just hurting yourself in the long run, you know? You really do. Thank you, John, for letting us know. And, you know, I'm not super against headways, but it's just, you know, if you're first getting into something and you want to have some fun, like I've contemplated of buying them, even though that they're a 5C, so 40 amps per bank, you know, continuous. It's kind of low, but they're so cheap, so that's why people run them. And there's so much out there, you know, for just different bus bars. You know, there's a lot out there. It's been around for a while. Yeah, that's very low, Ashy. I believe that is wasted information. You know, there's gotta be a point of a frequency that is wasted information, okay? There has to be. You know, maybe at one time it was 40, but I feel like, you know, there is a point, you know, it's kind of wasted. It's kind of wasted information. You know, I agree with you, man. I like turtles too, man. I really do. You know, I seen this pop up, and we got to throw it up. Thank you, Jake. Oh, come on. Boom.
I got bennies.
Love it. Thank you, man. SDK is sponsored by Twisted Tea Liquid Motivation #. You know, that's pretty good. Liquid Motivation. Get yours today at Twisted Tea at SDK.com. I like it. Thank you so much, Jake. Appreciate you. And it's been a while. I haven't had a Twisted Tea in some time. Maybe very soon. Maybe very soon. Thank you so much, buddy. Yeah, see, they just don't work that low because it's wasted information. We know this. See? No, I just noticed that, like, when cooling down my woofer or something, you know, everyone's like, play 20 hertz. And it's like, it's not just 20 hertz. Depends the box, depends the FS of the sub. You know, there's a lot of factors here, you know, just how it's going to cool down the best way, using the least power, moving the most. But still, when I would try to cool it down to like 8 hertz, it was just getting hotter, you know, because it's like, I don't know what it is. It's just like to move that motor, it kind of just like holds it, especially like 4 hertz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Like it's like dumping like 200 watts, you know, and it's just it compared to like 40 at like 18 hertz in the same box, you know, or whatever. And it's like moving more with that. And I think that comes down to not the electrical compliance, but the mechanical compliance, aka the suspension, the surround, and just the weight of all that stuff. And also, like Double E was saying, the electrical components, you know, it's not really designed for that. When you look at an amplifier or even subwoofers, they give you a range of frequency, right? Well, on like a bass amplifier, it'll say like 20 to 200 hertz or something, or just, you know, 18 or 15 hertz and up. It doesn't say 5 hertz, you know, or it doesn't, it gives you a little bit of a range. Will they play it? Sure. Is it ideal? Never is. Never is. It's all wasted information. You guys know this. Come on now. Come on. Doesn't SI, said Steve Irby, have a $200 18-inch sub stereo integrity? I think that's the one he was talking about. That is the HT18, and that's $199. Yes, that's the one that, well, I'll just pull it up again so you can just take a look at it. That's the one he was talking about, and that's $200. Stereo integrity. And I know there's like no logo on it. It's very plain Jane. I know Travis Young from JY Power, he was running one of those too. Like I've heard about these subs. I've definitely heard about them. And I haven't heard anything bad from him either, you know? I really haven't. Let's see. See, Jester's always like, he reminds me of Ed Lester a little bit, you know, like Mr. Scientist. Our noses pick up the different vibration of molecules, and that's why we can't have different molecules smell this. Why we can have different molecules smell the same. You know, and how our brain works and receives information and then kicks it back out to us to what we perceive. It's pretty amazing. And just like how we hear sound and can differentiate, can tell if it's to the left or to the right, in front of us, behind us, because of our you know, our ears on both sides and how our brain does that, and smell and all. Physics, science. I love it. And this is what we do, man. There's all science with bass. It's all science. Science! Let's see. You know, it was pretty cool in here. I forgot to turn on my air conditioner. I am not lying to you. I'm just full of hot air. I got a little temperature over there, over on the air conditioner over here. Tells me how, you know, warm or cold it is in the room. I'm not lying to you. That thing was saying 64 degrees when I came in here. It's saying 70.3 right now. It's just for me talking. I keep it nice and warm in here. It's insane. Or maybe it's just all the monitors. Who knows? It's something. I appreciate you guys this whole time. 45 of you all together on YouTube, 51 on, you know, just everywhere else. Andrew Stoltz, thank you for tuning in. Mike J is watching too, and Steve Kelly. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you, man. John says, hoping for major gains. Glad to hear you're loving it. I have a Salt 8, my friend, so I have the efficiency. Nice, man. And, you know, with the Salt 8K running at 1 ohm, you'll probably see anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 clamped continuous type deal. And that's going to be perfect for or did you run the 10 amp hour skibs or the 20 amp? So like 4 banks of the 10 amp hour or 2 banks of the 20 amp hour. If you ran 4 banks of the 10 amp hour 75C, yeah, that would definitely eat that, no problem whatsoever. The 20s, it's a little pushing it a little bit, but they'll still handle. They'll still handle about, you know, 400, 500 amps continuous, but it's still, you know, how long do you want your batteries to survive? That's a thing too, man. I am so far behind on the super chats, and we got some pennies from Jeff Wallace.
I got pennies.
We got pennies. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. Here's a tip for our great moderator tonight, John K. And yes, thank you, John. And we got a few other guys back there too. But mostly John. Thank you so much for helping me out in the studio here, keeping everything nice and clean. Not that you guys aren't, but you know, It might happen one day, and he's going to be there ready to pull. Well, we can't say that. We might get demonetized. Ready to ban you guys. No, we don't have problems like that here, and you guys are awesome. You really are, and thank you so much. But thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you. All right, so Skibby cells, we got that. Wasted information is any advice in the SCAR groups. Moving along, excess power, yes. You know, I feel like any Facebook group, you know, even Kicker Club, I see some things that are like run a capacitor. I'm like, don't do that. I mean, it's not terrible, you know, do it. But they have a job, and you know, they have a reason to be there, just not for what people buy them for. The capacitors that you buy, they're like a 1 farad capacitor. It's good for like 50 watts, you know, and even if it's more than that, you got to have everything. You got to have the alternator. You got to have the battery. You know, capacitor can just discharge faster and keep the voltage stiffer. That's really what it does. It does have some capacitance, but at 1 farad, it's nothing. It's really nothing. And it's not going to help you like you think it is. And that's the only thing. So, you know, and we've all done it, man. I was around the Best Buy days and just, you know, 1 farad capacitor, Rockford Fosgate. Oh, yeah, man. Throw it in there. You're good. Headlight dim and gone. No problem. Now we got a lot of other options out there. DIY, pre-built, the whole nine, and it gets the job done, man. And you could still add a capacitor in front of that, but you got to have a right capacitor that can actually discharge what you're trying to support anyway. It's still, you know, you got to have everything for everything to work as it should. Thank you guys so much. Man, 50 minutes flew by. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Joseph Keenan, oh, here comes the battery questions. Thank you, man. Looking to get a new lithium bank. Looking for something that does its best in the 14s. I'm charging at 14.8 and a 250 amp alt. Are those cells good or for that, or is there a better cell? Well, if we're talking about the skibbies, I mean, yeah, man. Depends which skib. If you're running the 20 amp hour skib, those are 2.3 volt cells. If you're running the 10 amp hour skibs, or the 2.9s that Jake loves so much, those are 2.4, and those need charged a little bit higher, another 0.6 volts higher, just in to keep it simple. So all LTO isn't quite the same, and even lithium ion is like that too. There's 3.7 and 3.6 vape battery cells, 18650s, 26650s. There's all different sizes. Yinlong 6560s, or whatever those are called. But still, you know, 15 volts, I would try to charge at least there. That's where I'm at. When the alternator's good, not hot, I'm at 15.9, almost 15.1. I'm real close there. I can hit 15.1, but it doesn't stay. And then I charge hot at 14.87. So, and I seen a big difference of charging there as considered 14.4 cold and 14 hot. You know, less capacity, and it all depends. But yes, man, I think you'll be good with that. Big time, 14.8, like, it's good enough. And with a 250 amp alt, you'll be happy. You will be happy. Thank you, Joe. Oh, wait, I'm so far behind. We got a $5 super chat from the man Deviant.
Wow. Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Would you look at Deviant dropping a $5 super chat? Thank you, man. Deviant has arrived. You're welcome. A horse sighting is almost as rare as a solar eclipse. Sup, Andy and my peeps in the chat. And you're right, but you know what? Hey, everyone's looking forward to the next solar or lunar eclipse. So thank you so much, and appreciate you, Deviant. I hope you and your family are doing well, man. And thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Would you look at that? Would you just look at it? Yeah, pretty much, just full of hot air. That's the thing, and I wouldn't say wasted information. It's more hot air. You know, as you can see, like we are. Oh, now it's dropping down to 68.7 with the AC on. I'm telling you, man, I am full of hot air. I needed something to keep it cool, and that's another thing with clipping, man. An amplifier is going to be even hotter when you're clipping it because you're pushing it past its limits, man. It's not good for it. It's just not. And man, yeah, you got to keep things cool. You know, and that's the great thing about not excess power. Well, excess power, yeah. Sparked innovations with their little fannies, the junior fannies, the big fanny that came out now, which is cool. It's a $400 fan, but man, it'll keep every single one of your amps cool. And that's another reason why amplifiers can go bad. Not even from, you know, just clipping or just low electrical. Time and heat. Those can be just killers to anything electronic. Heat and to keep things cool is the key. It really is. And you know, you can just put a computer fan in there, but is it going to work right? And ventilation, and with these big builds, you know, even if they have AC, it ain't reaching the back of the wall. You know, I've seen guys, I've done it too. I ported AC to the back of my KXA 400.4 just directly on it because it was just getting too hot, or the 2400. But my buddy Joby Cauldron, you might know him from TDH and Slamology. He's got the TC, and now he's got the big, I don't even know what it is. He's got a bunch of Trinity audio subs and just doing 20s, 160s at 20. But he actually pumped, I'm talking like HVAC, like looks like something coming from your dryer, you know, your dryer outtake. And just had air conditioning pumping through to keep his amplifiers cool. And it worked. It really worked. But hey, that's, you know, but is that ideal? Not really. Not really. Just throw a fanny back there, man. You'll be good. You'll be good. Okay, so you got the 10s. Nice. 4 banks. 15.5. Good. Yeah, because those ones, I think you want to charge a little bit higher. They're 2.4 volts per cell, just like the Plananos or the Yinlongs are 2.4, and they need charged a little bit higher, you know. And that's the thing, too, with all that LTO and stuff, you know, like the top end is 16.8, but really 15.8, you really want to charge those at 15.4, 15.3 for the 20 amp hour, 2.3 volt cells. But still, for 10K, do you think you should go bigger? No. Honestly, I think that is good. Is it going to be extreme overkill for your setup? Not really, because you still only got 40 amps of capacity. So if you got 10K clamped, we'll just say 10K and your voltage is staying 14s, because it should with those LTOs, charging at 15.5. So to do 10K at 14 volts, you're going to be pulling like 700 amps continuous. And those are rated, I believe, what is it? They're 75C, but the continuous rating's like, oh, I think it's 20 or 30. I think it's 30. Yeah, because it's like double. Yeah, it's like 300 amps continuous on those 10 amp hour prismatic cells that you have right there. So 300 times 4, you're good for 1200 continuous. You know, and that's where you'll be comfortable. You're not going to be doing damage on the cells. You'll be okay. 1200 amps, and you're only pulling 700, you know, best case scenario. So you got some headroom there, and that's not overkill, but that's enough headroom of battery. And your alternator is going to be the only issue. If you only have one, you have a 200, 300 amp alternator, and you're pulling 700, then you're pulling what? We'll say 300 from 700. You're pulling 400 amps from those batteries. That's not getting replenished. That's the problem. And then you're going to run out of the capacity. So 400 amps from 40 amp hours, do the math, you're dead in 10 minutes. So you need 2 alternators at least. And then your time is double, 20 minutes, and then you're dead. And that's just continuous 10K on your battery setup. And it's math, and I love it, man. I really do. I really do. Thank you, John. Blake is going. CC, he's going crazy. I seen it. I seen it. I have seen it. Let's see. Deviant. Yeah, he's doing good back there, man. He's doing good. I'd pull him up, but he'd get mad at me again. I think he's, what's he doing? What are you doing back there, John? You working on something. 3D printing something there. Cool, cool, cool. John again. Yeah, 10 amp skibs don't hold very much power density at low 14s. Right. Right. And I wanted to do a video on that. I will eventually. of 5S versus 6S. And it's literally the same if you're charging at 14 volts between a 5S and a 6S, but only whenever you're pulling like 300 amps. Now I'm sure if you're only pulling like 50 amps, yeah, the 6S is going to do a little bit better. But I just wanted to see what it would do, and it literally did the same voltage drop. I'm like, would you look at that? Would you look at that? But in the grand scheme of things, unless you're running a lead acid under your front of your car, I wouldn't run a 5S. Now, if you're running AGM, or you don't mind a little bit of trickle charge from your LTO going to your AGM, which LTO's got 50,000 cycles. That's a lot. That's a lot of cycles. So takes a while to kill them. It takes a while to kill them. You'll be okay. Now, if you're doing lithium iron phosphate that has like 500 to 2,000 cycles, each cycle means a lot more, doesn't it? And that's why they say to run isolators, battery deletes, and it makes sense. It really does. Even lithium ion, it all makes sense with that stuff, man. AGM is not dead. It's not, man. It's not. It's just heavy. It's heavy. That's the thing. It's heavy and not even big, because if you're going to have a lithium iron phosphate that does the same amount and has the same capacity, it's really hard to keep up with AGM in that aspect of things, just because, but I think that's kind of why they're heavier too. They got a lot of capacity, but the discharge rate is not the best compared to lithium iron phosphate, which is usually can discharge 5 times its amp hour, rating, 5C. AGM's usually like 1 to 2, and in the best case scenario. So there's always that. So it's not dead. It's not dead, and it works for a lot of people's vehicles, and it's just, you put it in there, you don't have to worry about it, but it weighs like 60 pounds. A Group 31 AGM, they're pretty heavy. I ran them. I had 4 in my Eclipse one time. I had 4 in the trunk and then 1 up front in the engine bay. And I'm like, why isn't my voltage staying in the 13s? Why isn't it? And it's just because it's a 12-volt battery. It's a 12-volt battery. You need to be higher, So, yeah, I could play for days. I had 400 amp hours of AGM in my car. It was great. It was great. Jeff Wallace has been a member for 5 months. Would you look at that? Wait, where's it at? I thought I had that other one. Maybe I didn't have that one. I've been doing a little bit of switching around here. Oh,
I took a look at it. Huh?
Yeah, would you look at it?
Yeah.
You looked at it.
I looked at it.
Very good.
I kept looking at it.
He definitely took a look at it, and he's still looking at the green team, man. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate you guys. All the members. I know we got them scrolling on the top here with the Patreons. I need to update for April, but either way, most of you guys have been here since day one. El Jefe for the win. I can't. Don't even. Don't even. Yeah, and that's the Salt 8 battery or amplifiers. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And what I would do is get one of those voltage control knobs that Sherco battery sells, and just because you can use a diode and set higher, but I like the adjustability. So like, say your amplifier cuts off at 15.6, but then your batteries are sitting at 14.8 and they're charging. Well, if you're only set at 15.5, your alternator is not going to supply all 100, 200, 300 amps, whatever it's supposed to do, max. It's not. Because you're so close to that voltage range, it's going to give you like 30, 50, 100 amps on a 300 amp alternator, because it's already pretty close. But if you have that voltage regulator and you just jump that guy up, the voltage is not going to jump immediately. It's just going to charge faster and then back it down before you hit that 15.6, and you're good, man. I think they are really game-changing, just because I learned how batteries charge sitting here playing with it with the power supply. And speaking of which, we got 3 power supplies here. I didn't mean to zoom in that much for that, but it works. Right over here, boom, we got 3 power supplies now for the dyno. 300 amps of input power, because once I go past the 200, I'm dropping down to 14.4, 14 volts, and that's fine. But in the grand scheme of things, I want to be a little bit higher than that with a higher voltage, so I can test bigger things. And when you have a 14 volt battery like he's got, you're good. You're good. It's strong at 14.5, 14.8. That's where it's strong at when you're charging 15.6, 15.8. Like, it's a brick there. It's a brick. Thank you, guys. El Fuego. Fry TV, he was here like 2 weeks ago, week or two ago. 320 amp bulb. So that's not terrible. That's good, and that's what most people are going to do whenever you upgrade to 2 alternators on your car. That's a big step. Talking alternator brackets, and then just, you know, a little bit of issues with belts, you know, serpentine. Oh, is it right? Is it slipping? Is it squealing? You know, it just because of the direction, especially when you're doing it yourself. There's not already a, you know, alternator bracket out there. That's the issue. But it'll work. It'll work. Justin says, I have a big excess power AGM under the hood. It weighs a ton. Pulls 2 of the small LTOs from Down for Sound in the back. Plenty of reserve. Yeah, the 6.0 Down for Sound LTOs, those are 5 series, and they're the 2.9s. And they work, and they're just 2 banks of them. That's how you get 6 amp hours. Actually, like 5.8, but still. And they work just like the Titan Power 5 or the Titan RSV 5, you know, and it works. You'll have a ton of power at 11.5 volts, 12 volts, 12.5. That's where they're strong. And it works with AGM, but even better with lead acid, because lead acid's resting voltage is 12.6, give or take. Those ones are 12.4, 12.5, might be a little bit higher. Actually, those might actually work a little bit better because they are 2.4 volts per cell. They actually might be at 13 volts resting. So that actually might be better to use with AGM with the Down for Sound 6.0 LTO and the 10 amp hour, you know, Power 5 from Excess Power. And just because, and that's the difference where a lot of people don't talk about. There is a difference between the 10 amp hour and 20 amp hour prismatic skib cell that people use a lot all the time. With the Excess Power RSV5 and the power and the reserve. There is a difference with their resting voltage. And I think they could put that on there, but I don't know. I don't know. It works, man. It definitely works. Thank you, Deviant, for some pennies. Would you look at those pennies? Monty, John. Pennies from XL. Thank you, man. Got 4 wins, 467 losses, but we love them. You know, hey, I've been a Brown fan once. No, I'm just kidding. That's... oh, I didn't do that. Thank you, Deviant. And yes, John, you should see him on fantasy football, though, man. He's got more than 4 wins. He's got more than 4 wins. And we got another $5 super chat.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Thank you, Phil. I know a lot of SQ guys still use AGM because there's less noise transfer. That's a thing I didn't even think about. I don't even know. I for some reason, that sounds right. And I know it's more than just the internal resistance values, because it can't be just that. But something inside that makes it with the ground inside. I don't know. But like, I feel like SQ guys, whenever they go that deep, I mean, they're going to, they're SQ guys, like SPL guys, they're nuts, you know? Like, man, I just did a 60.3 on 100 watts. What? Holy crap, you're nuts. So I believe it. I need more input. More input. More input. Right, Johnny 5?
You got it.
Exactly. More input. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you. And good question, statement. You know, I'm to look into it more. I really am. Yeah, you could make your own, John. You could. I don't know how to make my own potentiometer diode stuff. I leave it to the professionals, you know, and, you know, you learn. I was running pre-built batteries for the longest time, and I just started doing my own, but, you know, doing a lot of research before I started doing that, too. You know, so I'm a little bit ahead of the game in that aspect, not just like, oh, I did one battery. Man, I'm a noob. I'm a noob. I mean, I kind of am a noob, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Thank you, JT 1970.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
He says, what's up, Andy? Stopping by while at work. Green team, green team, green team. Yes, we got the green team. And yes, we got green headphones here too. Would you look at that? Now, these headphones here, I wanted to show you guys anyway. I had them on the beginning of the show. If you rewatch it, you will see. I did a little skit in the beginning. It was great. But just look at these. Tell me these don't look like the Kicker Cush NCs. Tell me they don't. Tell me they don't. Leapfrog? I can't. Oakley and Bryson use these all the time, and I'm like, those look exactly like the Cush NC's, just white, and they work. They work. They sound good, and they got like, I don't think they got noise canceling, but still, you know, a good backup just in case. So if they go missing, I'm sorry, Mr. O. But yes, green team for the win. GT 1970. Thank you so much, dude. You know, we've seen the video. Big Jeff, we're down for sound lithium battery. You know, both. One is a 5 series LTO like I was talking about, and then the other one is an LFP. And there's pros and cons with each. I'll tell you this, with the down for sound, you're going to get more cycle life, more life out of the battery, less capacity though, and a higher discharge rate for the size. But price, they're really close to the same. I think the down for sound's like $100 cheaper, like one's $300, one's $400, unless they're both $4. Either way, it all depends what you're trying to do. You know, LFP works, but to me, with what I do, I like the LTO. I don't mind taking longer times to charge. I just want something that runs at a higher voltage and works well without having to go to 16 volts. I can charge to 15 and it works great. LFP, you can't do that. But still, I mean, you can. I've seen guys do it for dynos, and it's like really an 18 volt setup, but it works at like 15.8, 16 volt charging. But that's okay. That's a little high for me. It's a little high. But there's pros and cons with everything. Like, what is the best subwoofer out there? There is no best. I'll tell you that. But you know what? That is the #1 thing trending, and YouTube is telling me to make a video on it. It's like, bro. No, I won't do that. I'll tell you, oh yeah, I'm going to tell you guys the best subwoofer today. Here's this advertisement from SDK. No, I'm just kidding. And then just be like, there is no best, but let me tell you why. Because there is no best. There is no best battery. There is no best amplifier. There is no best. Best? I don't like that word. There's better, or as good as, but there's no best. There is no best. I got you, John. I got you. Yeah, what noise though? With us, we're so loud we can't even hear those noises anymore. That's the problem. Usually everything below 40 hertz we just can't hear, and I think that's the frequencies they're talking about. Better yet, green is, oh, come on, a deer. You know, you think you can trust a guy. I can't. Pinky out audio. I like it. I mean, when in doubt, you know? Let's see. A couple more questions and we're going to end it. Phi, I have excess power super bank, the SB150-925L. Under the hood. Yeah, those are the ones that you can run under the hood. They're pretty cool. And it's a capacitor. It's not a battery, so it's a little bit safer. And 2 Li, and I think those are the lithium iron phosphate of excess power, other than the excess Max 90. LIS925. So you got 2 of those, and a 240 amp alternator from Mechman, aiming to eventually support 5K. It's costly out here moving to lithium, you know, and it is. But with batteries, they last. I still have I had it until about a year ago. It finally killed over. It was my second ever AGM battery. The first one did die, and now the second one died. I still have a few other ones, but I didn't have them as long. And I got like 6.5 years out of them, you know, and that's a long time. But still, you get some time from them. And I know LFP, it can last like 10 years, and that's what you got in there, 10-year cycle life. So it's a lot better than AGM or lead acid of just shelf life, you know, expectancy, but you still got the cycles. But we're not really deep cycling our batteries. When you see cycles, that's completely charged and completely discharged. So you're just doing little increments each moment, you know what I mean? And a lot of increments add up eventually. And then just your natural breakdown of the, you know, the chemistry of the cells and the plates inside getting all clogged up. And then the battery's done. So that's that. But it is expensive, but it's an investment. It really is an investment. Thank you, Phi. Purposely made Pile and Boss look bad. I don't think you can purposely do that, but I mean, they have their place too, man. Man, you're putting me in between a rock and a hard place on this one. He got me. He got me. He got me. He got me. 'Cause it's the best. There is a best and only for that. That's it. That's it. I can't. Thank you, 25. Pebbles got a Snoop Dogg shirt today. Would you look at that? 20 fair ads is not enough, LLwA. You need more fair ads. My UC31 has like 500, and it's good for like 400 watts for like 25 seconds, you know, and it's dead. But that's what they're for. Just instantaneous discharge, and then they can recharge super fast too, but low capacity. It's like nitrous, you know what I mean? You can't just hit the nitrous button the whole time. You're going to run out. That's what you got gas for, you know? That's what you got gas for. But thank you guys. I appreciate you. You should be sorry, dear. Just kidding. It's all good, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out. We'll be here Tuesday with Kicking It with Andy. Please, in the meantime, because Sunday or Monday is actually the day with the solar eclipse, eclipsing the eclipse, clipping clips with clipping is Monday. So please be safe. Wear your eclipsing shades. You know, you can wear your Oakleys, but make sure that the other ones are underneath that too. I will see you guys the day after on Tuesday, Kicking It with Andy. This has been Friday's show. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you stick towards the caboose and hang out in the Discord after party if you want to kick back, relax. And without further ado, let's key up the intro, and I will see you guys Tuesday. Have an excellent weekend, and as always, stay living loud.
Okay. So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
Love you guys. Man, we got 42 you guys still watching. They want to see the caboose. They want to see it. They want to see it. We're going to have to show it to them, huh? The Discord channel for the after show is in my About section. Kanga.
Livin
Check out for the Discord link. Livin Loud with Andy. You know the deal. You know the name. Now join the Discord. Thank you guys so much. And, you know, I almost forgot to get it going. You can hear it coming right now. Yep, it's coming. It's coming. Would you look at that? We got an early riser. Jeff Wallace coming in, trying to steal the caboose. Can he get it before the train derails? Can he get it? Roger stealing it. What?